In Britain, free speech, I fear, is in retreat.
Why do Americans say we've got no free speech in Britain? Plenty of people throughout history have argued for the freedom to express their own opinions. Socrates in 5th century Athens, John Milton wanted freedom for Protestants to say what they want, but freedom of political speech for everyone, including those who disagree with you, only came about in 1695, when England's Parliament failed to renew licensing laws that had restricted the press. This allowed the press to print what they wanted, unleashing a torrent of uncensored news and opinion. Into this freer landscape stepped two journalists, John Trenchard and Thomas Gordon, who anonymously published essays called Cato's Letters in 1720. They presented free speech as purely a good thing, the only way to shine light on the truth, ignoring the fact that lies spread faster than truth. Ironically, Cato's letters went viral in the American colonies, inspiring revolutionaries to unite behind the banner of press freedom. And when the US won independence, they codified it in the most powerful free speech law in history, the First Amendment. But free speech was never absolute, even in the US. In the 1800s, the great English philosopher John Stuart Mill argued free speech was essential for human flourishing, but even he had reservations and said it should be restricted if it caused harm to others. Now, this harm principle was incredibly influential, but the problem is, who gets to decide what's harmful? This balancing act meant speech could still be banned for all sorts of things like national security, blasphemy, obscenity, and so on. But in the 1960s, everything changed in the US. Activists had long used the First Amendment to protect social justice causes, but now with the rise of the Cold War, Americans were allergic to anything that smelt of totalitarianism. So they swung firmly behind protecting free speech for individuals and cared much less about the harms that speech can cause. This culminated with a landmark case in 1969 when a KKK leader was protected by the Supreme Court because they judged his speech wasn't likely to lead to imminent lawless action. This gave Americans much stronger protections to say what they wanted, which lasts to this day. This American individualism then peaked in the 1990s at the end of the Cold War, exactly the time of a new media revolution, the internet. So how did they decide to regulate it? By protecting free speech at all costs, even if that meant lies could spread around the world at the click of a button. Congress ruled that online platforms can't be punished for speech published by other people on their platforms, which is why social media is so full of angry nonsense. In contrast, Britain took a more balanced approach. Old bans on things like obscenity and blasphemy were rolled back, but journalists are more easily silenced in defamation cases, and hate speech, harassment, and harmful content online are increasingly banned, leading to many of the arrests we see today on social media. So which system works the best? The British version, free speech balanced by protection from harms, or the American version, free speech as a near absolute right?